Hello and welcome to a short video where I tell you that episode 3 of the latest season of Black Mirror is the only good one. All the rest of the episodes were kind of lame and very much lacked points, but episode 3 was awesome because it was a really interesting exploration of old school sci-fi. If you like this kind of short analysis videos, do be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I'd love if you let me know down below in the comments how much you agreed or disagreed with me, because I think a lot of people might disagree with me. The point of episode 3 was for Charlie Brooker and the writers to experiment with these 50s sci-fi vibes. To go back and explore sci-fi from an angle of what is science and advancement and how does it affect us morally. Modern sci-fi tends to be more about how it's going to change humanity and how it's going to shape our future and whatever. But older sci-fi tends to be more focused on how it's going to affect your humanity, how it's going to change an individual's morality, and whether or not it's even a good thing. The reason why the hippies kill David is because they think of him as an unnatural being and anything associated with him as evil.
We've met the machine man. What a trip.
They are inherently anti-forward thinking, so much so that even associating with the metal man is seen as sinful in their eyes.
Defying nature must have a cost, or what will become of us all?
Specifically make a point about how they're going to leave him up in space thinking about what he's witnessed and suffering alone. The overarching point of the whole plot of the episode is that science or advancement or things that push forward the boundaries of humanity are inherently unnatural. I'm not saying this is like the actual truth, but it's just an exploration. This is what older sci-fi was like. Is it natural? Is it okay to make robots? Is it okay to explore science? Is it right? Like, obviously it's cool and interesting, but is it good morally or maybe even spiritually? This is the personal philosophy of the Charlie Manson-esque guy at the beginning who kills David. And indeed, of David himself, because at the end, he is stripped bare. The mission ceases to be important to him. What matters is his loneliness and his abandonment of humanity. To him, in a sense, it's science that's caused all of his suffering. It's science that's left him trapped up here in space alone. In the natural world, he would have died along with his physical body on Earth. But thanks to science, here he is, trapped up in space as if his soul is left adrift in the heavens. I think it's interesting as well because both of our main characters aren't exactly great guys. Like, David is sexually aggressive, he is a bit megalomaniacal, he really craves attention. And I think there's this really interesting undercurrent of that throughout the whole episode, that David desperately needs attention and recognition. Like, he's the one who gets to shake the hand of awe-inspired cinema goers. They come to him and they're like, "Oh, you're so cool and amazing." And he's like, "I am so cool and amazing." But now he's lost that. To him, in a way, the family, the children, that picture-perfect life, they simply set the scene. They are things that he has that are his. But then he loses, and now he wants to replace it with anything he can, namely Cliff's family. The trouble is, he doesn't want this loser's life, or at least how he sees it. It doesn't matter to him because he's greedy for anything he could possibly take. And that undercurrent of greed also runs through the whole episode. It's about just taking what you can get to satisfy your urges and your needs. And those needs themselves are interesting. Like, what is it that makes a man? What is it that a man is if he doesn't have the things that give him value or purpose? There's so many themes. I love it. That's why it's great. I especially like all the little attention to detail when it comes to masculinity. I think masculinity is one of the strongest themes within the episode. Aaron Paul's character, Cliff, struggles with strength, with masculinity, with manliness. I mean, the fact that they chose a physically smaller and weaker actor for the role of Cliff, it's very deliberate. There's a lot of references to his comparative weakness, his inability or perhaps lack of desire to sexually satisfy his wife. The first thing we see of him is how embarrassed he is at his lack of grip strength with wielding an axe. Hell, he beats his child viciously and aggressively off screen, but makes references to it like it's a good thing. He's like this typical 50s guy desperate to prove his masculinity. And this all comes back to this concept of masculinity in 50s, 60s sci-fi. Like, what is a man? How does a man remain a man in the future? I know it's not really a common thing to discuss these days, but the idea of masculinity and what a man is was very strong back then. And how can a man remain the man, the provider, when maybe wants and needs are taken care of or advancements become the better provider than man? Where does that leave us as men? It's a very Neanderthal level of thinking, but it is what was thought by some people at the time. And I think this episode just explores some of those feelings, those vibes. The whole episode just crams so many of these cool, old school sci-fi vibes and theories and feelings into just one episode. It's great. I will say two massive things I thought were really great. Number one, the ending. I didn't expect it. I really just fell down the trap of the obvious solution, which is that he would kill Cliff and simply take over his body. Instead, he killed his family so as to bring him down to his level and create an ultimate equality on the ship. They both are trapped up in space together now with no reason to go back to Earth. It's brilliant. The other thing is that I think there's a really good, legitimate theory that he didn't actually kill the family at all, because we don't see it objectively. Instead, we just see red on the walls and his distress. Maybe he didn't kill them. Maybe he simply painted it. He asked for this oil to thin the paint out so that it spreads better. Like, they made specific references to that. And he did this to tell Cliff that this is what I could do. I could kill your family. I could take control. I could destroy them and make you just like me. I could ruin you just like they ruined me. So don't cross me. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. That is my entire opinion of episode 3. I feel like I probably could have rambled for another 10 minutes. It's easily the best episode of the season, and maybe of all of Black Mirror, but maybe that's just because I'm a huge nut for old school sci-fi and that discussion of what does science do to a person? How does it change you, and is it right? Oh, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Like I said, do be sure to leave a like and a comment down below and subscribe for all kinds of new videos in this channel every week, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.